Over the last few years, the gaming industry has experienced one of the largest waves of layoffs in its history. Thousands of developers have lost their jobs. Artists, writers, designers, programmers. Entire studios have been shut down. Projects have been canceled. Teams that spent years building games suddenly found themselves out of work. At the same time, a different story has been unfolding. Artificial intelligence has become one of the most heavily funded technologies on the planet. Game companies are experimenting with AI-generated art, AI dialogue, AI voices, AI coding assistants, and AI-powered development tools. For many people, these two trends seem unrelated. But for those working in the gaming industry, an uncomfortable question is beginning to emerge. What if the next generation of games requires fewer human creators than ever before? Because for decades, video games have been built by people. Behind every memorable world was an artist. Behind every unforgettable character was a writer. Behind every emotional soundtrack was a musician. Gaming wasn't just technology, it was creativity. And creativity was human. But artificial intelligence is beginning to change that relationship. Today, an AI can generate concept art in seconds. It can write dialogue, create voice performances, suggest code, design quests, generate music. And with each passing year, these systems become more capable. What once required entire departments can now be assisted by a handful of developers using AI tools. For small studios, this sounds revolutionary. Teams with limited budgets can create larger projects. Independent developers can compete with bigger companies. Ideas that once seemed impossible suddenly become achievable. But there is another side to the story. Every technological leap creates winners and losers. The Industrial Revolution transformed manufacturing. Automation transformed factories. The internet transformed communication. And now artificial intelligence is transforming creative work. The concern isn't that AI will replace every developer overnight. The concern is something much slower. A gradual reduction in how many people are needed. Imagine a future game studio. The environment art is generated using AI. Character voices are synthesized. Dialogue is written with assistance from language models. Quality assurance testing is handled by automated systems. Large portions of code are generated automatically. The game still exists. The players still buy it. The company still profits. But the development team is a fraction of the size it once was. That future no longer feels impossible. In fact, pieces of it already exist. And that is why many developers are worried. Because technology doesn't need to completely replace a profession to disrupt it. It only needs to reduce demand. A studio that once hired 20 artists may only need 10. A writing team of 15 might become 5. Voice actors may find themselves competing against digital replicas that never get tired, never negotiate contracts, and cost significantly less. The economics are difficult to ignore. Game development has become incredibly expensive. Budgets regularly reach hundreds of millions of dollars. Development cycles stretch across many years. Investors expect growth. Publishers want efficiency. And artificial intelligence promises exactly that. Faster production, lower costs, greater output. From a business perspective, the temptation is obvious. Yet something important risks being lost in the process. Because great games are not simply collections of assets and code. The games people remember most often reflect human experiences. The greatest stories in gaming weren't created by predicting patterns. They were created by people expressing ideas that nobody had seen before. And that's where artificial intelligence faces its biggest challenge. AI is exceptionally good at learning from existing material. It can study thousands of fantasy worlds and generate another one. It can analyze decades of dialogue and produce convincing conversations. It can imitate styles, genres, and trends. But true innovation is much harder. The most memorable games often succeed because someone took a risk. Because a designer ignored convention. Because a writer explored an unusual idea. Because a team created something nobody expected. Those moments don't come from predicting what already exists. They come from imagination. And imagination remains one of humanity's greatest strengths. So what happens next? Will AI eventually dominate game development? Possibly, but there may be another path. Instead of replacing developers, artificial intelligence could become what many technologies were always meant to be: a tool, a powerful one. Imagine artists using AI to accelerate repetitive tasks while still creating the vision. Writers using AI to brainstorm ideas while retaining control of the story. Programmers automating routine work so they can focus on innovation. In that future, artificial intelligence doesn't replace creativity, it amplifies it. The goal wouldn't be fewer developers, it would be better tools for the developers who already exist. Because the gaming industry doesn't need less human imagination, it needs more. And perhaps the future of gaming won't be decided by whether AI can create games, but by whether humanity remembers why people fell in love with games in the first place. Not because they were efficient, not because they were generated quickly, but because another human being created something worth experiencing. And that may be one thing no algorithm can truly replace.